Oh,
So we've
here we
lost
go.
the element of surprise.
Yes, no more
Wait.
surprise.
This is the first time in a while that we've started a show not mid-sentence.
It's true, because it's an important show. This is episode number 200.
That it is.
I don't know very many small shows like this, independent kind of shows that are, I don't know, crazy enough to do it for 200 episodes.
That's like almost 4 years.
It is 4 years. It's actually over 4 years.
Because Christmas breaks and stuff.
Exactly. Taking a few days off, technical issues, lost shows, that kind of stuff. Yes, we actually had a lost show, Claude Lacour, Wildlife Special. As soon as we were done, we hit end and gone into the interwebs.
Weird.
So there's been a lot of cool stuff. Hello, everybody. This is the Daytripper Photo Show, episode number 200. Lots of stuff to talk about. Before we get into that, though, I just want to quickly go over some of the history of our show. We've got some awesome hosts now. Michael Lane, Philip Zoratto. So happy you guys are here, and you continue to be on the show, and you like it, and you enjoy it like I do, so that's really cool. But in the past, we've had some awesome hosts. I think the most prolific host that we've had would be Gabriel Bousquet. I've been going through some fact-checking, guys. I've got facts. I'm not very often with facts, so I'm pretty happy about this. Gabriel Bousquet, yep, he was on 162 of our shows out of 200. That's pretty awesome. Darren Gahan, way back in the day, he was on 89 of our shows as our host. In fact, the very first show we did is kind of funny story here. The show number 0. It's not actually show number 1. Show number 0 we did, and we didn't really know how to use this whole Google Hangouts thing. So I ended up inviting my mom and my little brother, and they were all in the show, and we were just talking about all kinds of stuff with Mom and Rick on the show, and it was pretty funny.
It was literally a hangout.
It was literally just a hangout. That's exactly what it was. So that's why it was episode 0. Episode 1, we officially figured things out and moved on. Phil, you are the next most long-lasting host. You've been on 59 shows as host.
That's a lot, more than I would have guessed.
And 1 show as a guest. So
Right on.
technically, this is your 60th show tonight. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Nice.
I spent the time to find it, so I thought I'd use
it. That was awesome. And Michael, man, you've already been on 21 shows as host.
Has it been 21? Yeah.
21 shows and 1 time as our guest. So that's pretty sweet. Thank you so much, man.
It goes by quickly.
It's
Extra facts. Just extra facts are good. I've also broadcasted from 2 different houses.
That's right. And a studio.
And a studio.
I think I have 2 now.
What?
For
2 different
the extra house. For the extra house, because I did the 1 episode on my laptop when I was
right on.
Well, actually, we might even have a surprise guest host at some point today. So until we have more confirmation of that, let's just go into this. We're reviewing the photos for the challenge Better Watch Out tonight. It was an interesting challenge, and we've got some really, really cool photos submitted. But before we get to the review, I just want to thank everybody who's watching and everybody who takes part in these challenges. And since day 1 with the Daytripper community, have been involved with making posts and making comments and being involved in other people's photos and being respectful and being, non-egotistical and just being really cool people. So way to go, Daytripper community on Google+. You guys rock. We absolutely love being a part of this group with you guys. And, since 2012, September 19th was the first show, and that was at episode 0 with my mother on it. It was awesome. Okay, so, yeah, I've just got confirmation. We're going to have a special person coming in just a minute, and y'all might know this person, but we'll see. We'll see if y'all remember who this might be, and whenever they come in. Cool. So much has changed since that day in 2012 when we started this show. 200 episodes later, we're still going strong. In fact, I think today we have a better show, more well-rounded show, and a lot of really neat topics, and I think it's really coming together nicely. But we're also kind of prepping. We're changing things a little bit. We're modifying how we're doing things so that we can hone it in and keep it possible to be this radio show, which is the next step for Daytripper Photo Show. I can't wait for that. The way I envision this is going to be the web show is going to be the background, the behind the scenes on the radio show. So Phil and I will be in studio on the radio. Michael will be live on air in the video chat because he lives in Toronto. It's a little harder for him to just kind of pop into the studio. Of course, you'd be more than welcome to do that if you could. So that'll be cool. And it'll be all the things that go on behind the scenes during the radio show. So what we're doing in the breaks when there's music playing, or going over the photos and the reviews, and so many more ideas that we have. But, as for myself, I started this whole thing back in 2008, before there was the Newmarket Camera Club, before there was Daytripper Television, before all these other things that we've done since, the studio, the Loft Studio, and so on. And we were just doing day trips. Little, walks on the Tom Taylor Trail in Newmarket, trips to Algonquin Park with Phil and others, and just a lot of really cool day trips. So we've done hundreds of day trips now. We have done hundreds of these shows, and it just seems like we just don't stop. I don't know why. But it's cool. I'm enjoying it. You guys enjoying it?
I think so.
Awesome. I think so. Not quite sure. Sorry. That's okay. But, for, so many years now, it's been a while. We've done anywhere from 12 to 24 sessions a year with Daytripper. And now that we have the Loft Studio in Newmarket with my partners, Gabriel Bousquet, Navi Noom, Robert Schimmelheim, and, of course, Mr. Joseph Leduc. There's so many cool opportunities that are coming upon us, and I can't wait to see what happens in 2017 and beyond. I'm so stoked. So thank you all so much one last time during the show for being a part of this and for watching and keeping the conversation going. And as a note of that, don't forget, you can keep this conversation going through the YouTube Hangout. All you have to do is go over to the YouTube page, and I see some of you have already made comments. Ivan, hello to you, sir. Greetings, gentlemen, from Mark Flinders. You've watched countless hotel rooms. I know Mark has been probably more places than any of us watching the show. From Northern Ontario to all over the place. Jason is watching. Good evening to you. And Michelle's watching. Awesome. Hello, Michelle. This is going to be a fun show. And who knows? Who might pop in, and who might actually be able to say a sentence without stuttering over their words. Not me. Okay, so the photo challenge is better watch out. We've had some really awesome photos submitted. Phil, what do you think of the shots that we've gotten so far this week?
I've been surprised, because I figured with it being kind of like a Christmas time of the year and better watch out, I figured we were going to get a lot of Christmas. We didn't. We got a lot of everything else. And I think that was awesome, because I think this is, from my recent memory at least, I would say the most widely creative, I don't know why I said it like that, widely creative interpretation of a challenge so far. And so I'm super happy to see all the pictures and the different takes on it, and really what that means to everyone. So I think that's I think it's really cool.
Now, since you've come on the show, what has changed in your life?
I've moved a bunch. Changed my focus of working. Moved some more.
You've grown a lot of hair.
I've grown. I shaved it off.
Yeah, the first episode that you were on, you were bald.
Yes, I was. I actually wanted to get a haircut today, but I just couldn't fit it into the day. So I think that's going to happen, maybe tomorrow afternoon. I'm not really sure. At some point, I'm going to get a haircut because it's gotten kind of floofy.
Yeah, I haven't had one in about 6 months now. So I got to gel it right down. Thankfully, I had the headphones. Yesterday, I was walking back from the studio, and I called my hairdresser. I was like, I'm walking by your place. Can I come in? No. When's the next time you're available? 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to look like Krusty the Clown for a while. That's okay. Michael, how about yourself? What's that?
I wish I was that busy. No, I'm booked for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. So how have you been, man? Michael?
Good. It's been a lot of good changes since I started on the show. I've made a lot of new connections. A lot. I still have to thank Blake Zimmerman for, because he was the one that introduced me to you guys, and through him I met a lot of people as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Blake.
Daytripper, and since my first masterclass with you guys, I can finally call myself an instructor. I finally say I'm a mentor now. I've started my first mentorship, or I should say I'm starting my first mentorship with Michelle.
Excellent.
So,
I'm proud to say that Michelle was my first mentorship as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. You're gonna have a great time. So what else, man? Like, you've done this and you've done that, but how's your day to day? How's your regular workflow these days?
see where you're going.
I'm such a jerk.
I'm trying to keep busy.
Excellent.
Trying to find a way to save up and move to new markets so I can torture you guys in person. Maybe make it a radio show.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I know. You know, in this world of photography, we all have to do so many things that we love and we hate and so on and so forth. We got to pay the bills. When I first started out of high school, because I didn't get to go to college, unfortunately, I started working for like $4.25 an hour selling stereos. One thing led to another. That whole progression, before you know it, it's all old news, man. It's all old news, and you're in better places. So everybody, keep on keeping on, keep the grind going, and good things happen to everyone. Oh, wait a second. I think our guest is here.
Hey.
Look who it is.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi, Gabriel. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you just on sound tonight, or are you video ready?
No, give me a second. I'm just going to hook up my I got to find my snowball.
Awesome.
Okay.
All my podcasting gear.
So for those of you who remember, this is Gabriel Bousquet. As I mentioned earlier, 162 episodes Gabriel did as a host of the Daytripper Photo Show. And, you've been busy for a while. So it's awesome that you were able to be here on our 200th show, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was nice to be back, since you fired me.
Yeah, as if. Everybody knows better, man. Everybody knows better. Okay, we're going to talk more to Gabriel once he's all set up. We'll let you get all that taken care of. We'll go back to the chat for a quick second. Jerry Kelly says hello. Hello to you, sir. And Michelle says, did he say floopy? What is it that Phil said?
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember these things. I plead the fifth.
There you go. That's always a good course of action. Okay, so we're gonna have some reviews to do tonight. Some floopy things, and it should be a lot of fun. But before we do that, just want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, please join the Daytripper Photo community on Google+. It's where all the magic happens. Whenever there's a photo review or a challenge to be had, you post your photos there. If you want to ask questions at any time of the day, you post your questions there. It's just a really cool environment. So if anybody's interested, check it out, Daytripper Photo on Google+. Yes, some people actually still use Google+. Fewer and fewer by the lately. Gabriel, where's your grilled cheese, man?
I know.
She's a color correction.
Donald Trump.
Well, it's huge.
I got the best camera ever. I'm telling you, nobody makes cameras better than me.
It's huge. Oh God. Welcome back. Welcome back. And also, I just want everybody to know, if you are watching this on YouTube, please click like underneath this and subscribe and share this with your friends. Let the world know that we're doing the show. If you subscribe to our channel, we get enough people, then we can actually start to put out different kinds of videos and have different avenues that we can do this show. So there's a lot of cool options that we have once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So guys, keep it going, keep on subscribing, and keep on liking our show. And also chat to us. Let us know what you're thinking. If you're watching on YouTube, right along the side, you can just say whatever you want, and we see it, and we can answer you. Roll it right into the conversation. And, of course, I really want to thank our sponsors. You guys have been awesome for us so far since day one. Folks like Lens Pen, of course, you guys have always been there for us. Thank you so much for giving us the prizes that we give away when we give our points for these photo challenges. Cotton Carrier, you guys have been here for me since, very early on. With all your holsters and your grips and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for that. And still supporting Daytripper. That's amazing. Sennheiser. I'm the only one sporting the Sennheiser swag today. What's up with that? One day we all have hats. Next day we don't. I still got to rock the Daytripper hat. But Sennheiser's been there for us. We've got some lanyards we're giving away. And there's some cool things that are going to happen with Sennheiser in 2017. Can't wait for that. And our newest fun, awesome sponsor, of course, I can't say enough, and this is all thanks to you, Michael.
Yes,
you introduced us.
I have to get my hands on that.
Yeah, you do. So here we are. We have the Atmosphere aerosol, and just like that, we have cans that we're going to be giving out and including in our prizes for the photo contest. So if everybody remembers, the quarter end review is on the 18th of January. So there are new prizes now included in that prize pack, and one of which is a can of atmosphere aerosol. Now, I use this for the first time. I did a shoot for Look Local magazine just yesterday, actually. Went to an escape room in Newmarket, and I'm so excited about this. I hope we all get to do this actually together. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I think you should do a day tripper escape room.
We're actually, I'm talking to them about doing a light painting session there because it's such a unique place. They have like a prison, and they have special rooms where you can go in and you have to find clues in the room, and then you have to, you know, find the locks and all these different things. So it's a group challenge. I'm very anxious to actually do this. This is something that I've put out to a few different groups, and I'm hoping somebody jumps up and says, yes, I want to do this too. It is called, hang on just one second, Crypto in Newmarket here. I can't share all the photos. I can quickly give you an idea just like that, but they're not quite shared yet on public social media, so I can't really go there. But it's going to be so much fun, and I used the smoke actually. So there was a hallway, and I kind of used some of the smoke, and it backlit some of the smoke and gave me a real moody feel to it. So already getting some use out of this stuff. Atmosphere aerosol. I've got some at the Loft Studio. Phil's got some. You actually showed me a bunch at work the other day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I played around with it. It's I'm excited to see it actually, you know, used in a shoot. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
I think we all
tell us.
What's that?
Atmosphere was my idea, and I'm the last one that gets to play with it.
Well, you live so far away, man.
I'm working on it.
I know. I'm not trying to put guilt on you. I know Newmarket's where it's at, but next time you're up, you will get some cans for sure. All right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. And, of course, to Gentech, who supplies us with Sigma lenses on all our day trips. Gentech's been there from the start. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So let's get to some photos. Oh, wait. I just want to remind everybody, first off, about this. It's ozone friendly. I was very worried about that.
That's good.
It is actually ozone safe. I thought Gabriel would say something about that.
No, we were hoping for our own little hole over the Loft Studio, a little ozone hole, so it would be a few degrees warmer there all the time.
Better for model shoots, right?
Exactly.
In the winter.
NASA's sitting there like, well, actually, NASA doesn't have an atmospheric monitoring budget anymore now that Trump's in, so nobody's going to notice it anymore, so there's no repercussions.
Oh, it's a whole new world, isn't it?
It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
Anyway. So much has happened since last time you were on. Now, Phil, this is something that's going to make you happy. There's actually, I read the contents, what it actually contains. Check this out. This is an awesome list of flammable things. It contains butane, propane, and mineral oil, all in one neat little package.
So I'm guessing the mineral oil is what forms the particulates, and the butane and the propane are probably just the compressant.
The projectile.
Interesting.
Yes, very neat. Oh, so use it in well-ventilated environments, just to let people know. All right. So who would like to do the screen share for our photos this week? Because you've got some good ones. All right, Phil, let it rip.
As soon as I remember how to do it.
Gabriel.
Boopity-doo.
Yes.
It's been a while since you've done one of these reviews.
Boopity-doo.
Yes, and I'm more jaded than ever.
That's okay. That's okay. We're looking forward to this. Did you hear the stat about how many shows you were on?
No.
162.
Holy moly.
That is quite a few.
As welcome for about 8 of them.
I'll just let that one go.
It's like I say, every morning my wife wakes up, looks at me and smiles. Then she sees my chest move and goes, damn it, he's still alive.
Yeah, right. Sure. I know better. All right. Speaking of your wife, look at this. Love Shop. This is our first photo. What did I just do there? I don't know. This totally went flat. I need crickets.
Oh, I know that place. I mean, what?
I need crickets or something. I said something and nothing happened.
I was trying to come up with a joke for you, and I couldn't, so I'm happy.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so this is Sarah's photo. Sarah, this is, I think, Sarah's first time submitting for our challenge.
That's good.
So that's pretty cool. Love Shop. So remember, the photo challenge theme was Better Watch Out. So Better Watch Out. And what she says for this photo is, where did I put my page? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, I'm still on the wrong thing. I'm new at this. I haven't done one of these before. She says, you don't want your mom to see where you're doing your Christmas shopping. Awkward. So, Gabriel, since you're back and you haven't been on for a while, why don't you start on this?
All right. Let's see here. Let me just make my window bigger. Well, it's nice seeing somewhere familiar come up. No, I'm just kidding. Well, let's see. It's
a tough one to critique.
It's a tough one to critique because it almost looks like clip art.
Yeah.
Right? It looks like somebody put click art on a black screen, and then you realize it's got the open sign down at the bottom and stuff. I think I probably would have turned this into a little bit of artistic art and blacked out everything and then moved the open sign like right underneath the heart or something, just so it was a little bit more symmetrical. There's lights and stuff, but not enough to tell you what it is that you're looking at. Right, yeah. So that makes it a little bit confusing. Like I know what it is because I know the place. It's right by Henry's. You and I meet up there all the time. At Henry's.
At Henry's, across the street from.
But somebody looking on, like it doesn't tell a story. It's a good photo, especially if you know where the place is, but it doesn't tell a story. But yeah, so I would say good start, but play around with it a little bit more.
That's really great stuff. Michael, what do you think?
I agree with all of that. It's just like the sign itself looks great for the exposure. And I think it's just that issue of the fact that it was shot so late at night. If you were to get a brighter exposure of anything else in the scene, you would have lost some of the quality in the sign. So I think if that's what you're going for, then your priorities are right. But it's definitely a tough one to deal with in a single image. This is something where HDR would really be useful, or even the blend if function that I would talk about sometimes would be useful in a shot like this to be able to compensate and keep that detail in and still bring in more of the background. But that's exactly where this goes, is without that background really being too visible in the shot, it does have that clip art feel to it. It doesn't really tell a story as a photo.
Yeah. That's story mentioned twice. Good points. Phil, anything to add?
Not really. You pretty much got everything. Batteries not included, but that's really about it.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, okay. I think everybody made great points. I'm going to go with all of that. I mean, perspective, I think, would have a lot to do with making something like this work differently as well. Maybe taking the top off the shot, working with just the bottom half of the photo, and then taking the approach that the other guys are talking about, use it as a clip art, darken down the blacks a little bit more, move the open sign. I like that, actually, at that point. But there's so many things you can do. And I think ultimately your interpretation being so unique was what I liked most about it. It's like Blake says, bah, ha, ha, nice interpretation. I'm with that. So fun stuff. Thank you, Sarah, for submitting. Anything else to add before we move on to the next shot, guys? Nope. All right, cool.
I like the idea of the 16, maybe make it 16:9 or something. Play with the cropping.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, 69 adds to the thematic kind of feel to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so who's next?
Looks like we got Ivan.
Ivan. Oh, by the way, I just want to wish Ivan a very, very happy birthday. Ivan's turning 78 years old today.
Nice.
It's very cool. So happy day to you, sir. I say, by the way, keep the beard and don't worry for that 7D Mark II, because don't forget the quote from last week's show. Skill in photography is acquired by practice and not by purchase, from Percy W. Harris. He made a comment how for his 78th birthday, it'd be nice to wake up to a 7D Mark II next to his coffee. So don't need it. You're doing fine. That's my first 2 cents. Phil, why don't you start on this one?
Absolutely. I like the contrast in this. You have this like super bright diamond shape or sideways square, depending on what you want to call it. And I just like it, it stands out. And I like, the comments that went alongside of this, because when you see a sign like this, you usually have to, watch out for stuff, whether it be people who are actually working or, the absence of people working.
Or people watching people working.
Yeah, depending, where you are and what type of group it is. The other thing that I find kind of weird about this is in Canada, I know this is a Canadian picture, but normally in Canada, these signs usually go south for the winter. So it's interesting to see one actually in the snow and in not so natural habitat.
Lordy. Hey, do you remember the Shreddies campaign when they made diamond-shaped Shreddies?
Yes, and that was the smartest marketing campaign ever. It cost them nothing to change. They just literally changed an angle on a box.
I thought it was brilliant.
It just, and
I prefer the diamond. I like the square.
Yeah, it's just like, it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good points. Michael, have you got anything to add?
I'm looking through some of Ivan's old photos in the weekly photo submissions, and the first thing I pick up on is you really, really like the color red.
Really?
At least the last 4 challenges that we did had orange or red in them as the main focal point. But I have to say, for everything that we're looking at in these last challenges, I do, and it's something that I'm seeing a lot this week in general with everyone, is there's a lot of growth and talking about symmetry, talking about exposure, dealing with really, really contrasty subjects like this, and then really muted, not very contrasty backgrounds. Your exposure is perfect for this. Mm-hmm. Your symmetry is perfect for this. Everything about this shot is executed fantastically. And a really, really tricky thing to do in the winter is be able to take a picture of snow and still see the snow, which is what I can do in this. So I would say I like this a lot on its own. It's just a really good photo. It does go with the story of Better Watch Out. It's a clever idea, but I have to comment on the growth. I see a lot going on with your photos with previous ones that you've done.
And you're not just talking about his beard either, are you? You actually mean his photographic personal progress.
Yeah, I have to say, in a lot of ways, it seems to be coming together here.
Excellent.
That's good.
Actually, he did comment that his birthday's on Sunday, so early birthday to you. There you go.
And that means there's still time for Mark too.
Oh, yes. Don't give up hope. Gabriel, anything to add?
No, not much. I mean, can you still... I'm hitting the info button. Can you still see, like, the... Oh, right. I'm hitting the info button on the Hangout. I got to get used to this again. Can you still see the EXIF data?
Yes, you can.
On these, you can.
If I hit the info button.
Yeah.
A little bit of information here.
There you go.
Yeah, 3.5, 1,000 shutter, 800 ISO.
What are you looking for?
It's just the background is a little bit out of focus, which makes the sign pop a little bit more. I would have liked it to be a little bit more out of focus. Like you can, that house there, with the right settings could be just kind of a pleasant blur. But now I'm trying to close the EXIF data. Oh my God.
Man, it has been a while. Holy cow.
It really has been a while, yeah.
Other screen, other window.
But no, I mean I agree with everything else that was said. I just I enjoy a picture and then I'm picky for the extra 5%.
Absolutely, as you should be. And we talk about that all the time because that's the difference between just taking a photo or showing a photo and actually making something that people will remember and impact. I get your point though. Like, how could we have made this a shallower depth of field so that it would make the sign more isolated? It was using a 1750 lens, which is a 2.8 aperture Sigma lens, and he was shooting at f3.5. So I guess he could have opened up the aperture a little bit more, maybe got in a bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
That might have done that. But
zoom in fully, open up the aperture, and if you got the back being really nice and buttery, then that would probably be a good stock photography photo.
So another way to do that, Ivan, is if you have a telephoto lens other than your 1750, use like a 300 mil and step back further and zoom in more. That would give you that compression that Gabriel's talking about right now. Lots of different ideas. Very cool. Thanks, guys. All right, what's next there, Phil?
Absolutely. I'm just going to pop it up here.
I hope when Phil puts on his teacher's voice.
I think it comes on.
It's just happens. Like, absolutely. I'll let me allow you to do this. Indubitably. All right. So what do we have here? We have Ashley's photo. Better watch out. He might be dead, but he can still see your dreams. Creepy.
Well, it got dark.
I'll start off with this one. I mean, the first time we saw Ashley use this skull photo, I was like, oh, man, I want to use that skull photo. And it seems like it's starting to become her. What is that one? It's like her muse. What were you saying?
Muse.
Muse. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's an interesting twist to things. She keeps on putting different things in its eyeball. What do you think about it, Gabe?
So, like I said, it's been a while since I've been on. Is this photography or digital art, or does it matter? I haven't seen the original of this skull. It looks kind of like almost like a Phantom of the Opera mask. I'm having a hard time kind of thinking what I think about it. You know, like the edges inside the eye, it seems like could have been a little bit sharper. The fading down around the bottom and stuff kind of takes away from it being in an eye socket, right? Like an eye sockets usually have sort of like sharp edges where there's sort of some fading there, so it kind of pulls me out of the image a bit. But besides that, like the texture over top of the skull, the way that it falls off on the right, I really like. The fact that it's kind of a happy beach ocean scene, but then it's got those vines hanging down. It's kind of like I see into your dreams, but I'm also going to infect them, sort of thing. Well, because it's almost like the darkness is crawling into the dreams, right? Like, you know, my dream would be on a beach with a lawn chair, and like everything would be bright, whereas the whole dream is sort of shrouded in this darkness. Right? So, yeah, I like the idea. I was always the Simon Cowell, I guess, anyway. So I think the execution could have been a little bit better, but I like the idea.
The Simon Cowell. Nice. All right, well, let's see what Michael thinks.
I have to agree. I'm looking at this. I'm again going through old photos. I realize this is a similar. You did actually post this one before, so I remember
the same photo.
Familiar, yeah.
It was not something different in the eye.
Nope, it's the exact same photo. It was done as a two-part album. So I see that the skull is definitely a muse. You like using it. I have to say, I like the choice of texture overlay. I can see that you've laid multiple images over the skull as well, but it stays consistent to that sand and beach texture that feels appropriate for what you have in the eye. But it is a really strong point that Gabriel made of having that soft edge within the eye where you're masking that other photo into it is where we can tell that that's what's happening, is exactly what pulls away from it. We shouldn't be able to see that you've placed a different photograph in. And I think in this case, one thing that could really help with that is if you were to darken more into the eye socket where it's already dark, if the black of that shadow could line up with the black of the vines hanging and have a consistent level of darkness there, they would blend into each other a little nicer and feel more like one image. Other than that, I'm not really sure what to say for this.
Phil, anything to add?
No, not really.
All right. Well, I was only thinking, I was surprised nobody actually caught that the vines look like eyelashes a little bit.
No, I didn't think of that.
But no, everything else, I'm with you guys. But I didn't realize that you'd use the exact same photos. That's a bit of a no-no. That's we're looking for new stuff. you know. So anyway, let's move along. Let's see what's next on our photos.
No problem. I think what we have coming up next here, scrolling down, is Lori.
No.
No.
Now, okay, so when we issued this challenge, we were expecting a bunch of Christmas stuff, and this kind of surpassed anything I had hoped for because it's Lori and she's awesome. I love the little twinkle lights that she adds to her shots. I love that layer that she can put on there. And the feeling that she has with the tree, and I mean, it's almost HDR-ish. You can see into the tree. If you look at this on your computer, you can zoom right into all the different ornaments and see what she has on there. I kind of dig that because, I mean, I'm married to an elf, so the tree is a very big part of our living room right now. And I've been wanting to take a lot of pictures of it, but I just, when it comes right down to it, I just didn't feel I'd get a good shot. Like, how many times have we set the tree up and it's in kind of the same place? We've lived in this house for 20 years. How many walls can we put the tree? It eventually ends up in the same wall. And they can take the same photo over and over again. It looks the same. So I put it on pause, but I'll tell you, this shot is getting me inspired. I'm getting a look from the elf right now. Here she is. She's actually giving me a look. Watch your head. Don't skewer yourself on this hook. Elf. Giving me shit right now. Anyway, it's true though. I mean, I haven't taken a shot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Coal. I'm getting coal and cookies. Anyway, so I love the shot, the detail, and I'm hoping that looking at this shot, I will feel more inspired to go and actually make a new photo of our tree this year. Phil, what do you think?
I think this is a really interesting take. I don't know if we said it before or if we talked about it before. I'm honestly, I'm going to admit I'm actually kind of tired, so things are blurring together a bit. That coffee I had is not helping me stay awake.
Oh, no.
But I like this. It kind of feels like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Yes.
And the Santa composite, I think, went together really nicely, except his arm looks a little funny.
I think I can jump in on the arm looking funny part.
Sounds good.
Are you talking about the contrast of it?
Yeah, it seems kind of muted a little bit.
This is something that I've run into a couple times, and I think that's actually coming from the texture overlay being the shade that it is, being yellow.
And matching into the shadows on the arm.
Yeah, so an educated guess would be the Santa is masked in, and then the texture is masked in over top, but not masked off of the Santa, which is whatever blending mode was being used here. Maybe, I'm assuming soft light or overlay, whatever the case would be, it's actually interfering with the Santa, and it doesn't allow black to sit at just black. It actually pushes some of its own color and brightness into it, which creates that faded yellow in the blacks there and really pushes sort of a strange flat saturation to the red. So it's something to watch out for when you are using textures like this, is you actually want to try to pull that texture away from very detailed or very important and contrasty areas and let it be stronger in the negative space.
So basically the blacks aren't as black as they should be because of the yellowish overlay that she added over the entire back.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you could always mask out the overlay in that selected area if it didn't make the picture look funny, but I think trying to pull it away is also a good idea.
What do you think, Kate?
I like it. Yeah, it's got a great feel to it. It's like something you'd see in a, I don't know, I can't think of the name of the magazine, but it's like something you'd see in a magazine.
The New Yorker.
Yeah, something like a little bit more artsy, like not the Sears catalog, something a little bit more high end.
Yeah, I'm
local.
Like look local, yes.
All the good photography is.
It's so true.
Yeah, I see the points with the composite and stuff, and it's one of those things that's like, okay, I can understand if that's a byproduct of the layer of the overlay, but there's also ways to address that where it wouldn't be distracting. But it also, you have to look at the picture for a while to notice that.
Or be tuned into composite photography in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that wasn't when I started zooming in and looking around the ornaments and stuff, and then I moved over to that. Then I definitely noticed it. And it's one of those things. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But it takes a while to see it because your eyes are distracted by everything else, all the ornaments and the twinkling and everything. The only thing it's missing is like a little squirrel head poking out or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I almost saw a squirrel get taken out in my yard. Talking about squirreling, there was a Cooper's hawk. All of a sudden, just pounced on a squirrel in my yard, and the squirrel kind of dipty-doodled its way around, and the Cooper's hawk shook it off and took off, and no squirrels were harmed in the making of my day. It was pretty nice, actually.
There's a dead squirrel on the top of the pole, the electrical pole. So I guess it went right to the top and touched one of the power lines and got fried. It's been there for like a month, and we're just waiting for a big strong wind to come by and like blow it because our school our street dead ends onto a school, so there's like 300 kids that walk by every day, and we just know one day it's gonna get blown off and hit some poor like grade 2er in the head.
This show just got really dark.
now and then we look up, there's this like dilapidated tail hanging down.
Oh, that's bad because I was walking to work the other day and somebody threw out a perfectly good squirrel. It was horrible. There's garbage can and I see this fuzz. I think, oh, somebody threw out a scarf. I look in and there's like a perfectly good squirrel dead in the thing. I guess it wasn't perfectly good anymore. Anyway,
So it's like a small stew or soup or
Yeah.
oh wow, it was so. Anyway, sorry, Lori. We
I
just
love the photo.
love the photo.
on the next side of things.
A lot of effort, a lot of thought, and good execution put into it.
Agreed. Yes, Phil.
Just getting off the dead squirrels.
Yeah, please. Thank you. What do we have that's next here?
We have Taylor's.
How did a happy Santa with a tree end up talking about like throwing out squirrels? That is so strange.
Well, that is us.
We squirrel badly.
And I'm back.
All right, so this is Taylor's photo. It's not every day I see somebody shooting a gun, and you know I've had the opportunity a few times to go with Ross to a shooting range. I just never was free at the time, so I've never actually fired a gun. It kind of creeps me out a little bit, but I guess if you have to, you have to. Phil, you know a lot more about guns than I do.
Well, I don't know if I'd say a lot more, but I know that they're metal usually,
And they have
and
bullets, right?
things fly out of the end of them,
Yes.
and you generally don't point them at people.
Unless you don't like those people, and then
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
they took your parking spot, you know.
oh,
Sorry, too soon, always too soon.
yeah, they tried to get their food at McDonald's or something like that.
But like I was looking at this shot, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. I like the stillness of the image because there's actually a ton of motion that should be going on with this. When it fires out, the shell flies out of the side, which is why we have it floating there in the air. But there's also a ton of vibration that happen with the person because we're jiggly people. And the fact there's no real kind of blurring going on, everything's nice and sharp and steady. I think it's pretty interesting. I was talking to you. I would have liked to see a bit of light detail coming out of the front of it. Just
Like muzzle flare, you mean?
yeah, like 100th of a second earlier. But I could just be very picky at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Michael, what do you think?
I really like this shot. Actually, one of the first things that strikes me with this is the framing elements of it, is the fact that the horizon and the edge of the tree line lines up so nicely to the barrel. And even the angle of the shell casing is pointing back to the barrel. So
That's right.
the direction in this shot is actually really cool. But if I'm going to be the devil's advocate and be super picky, I think this would have been even more powerful if you had stepped just a foot to the right so that the background where that part of the tree line lines up with the horizon, if that was a little bit to the right in the frame, it would look more like that was where the gun was aiming and add all the more to it of that directional feeling of you're following down the sight line of the gun. Even though that's not really where they're aiming, it would have created that illusion in the shot if you were to put that point in the frame just a little bit more to the right. But otherwise, yeah, it's just a really fun photo and really, really well executed. I have to agree. I'd like to see some muzzle flare, see a little bit of motion, more reaction and recoil from the shot. But that being aside, like, it's really well done. I really like it.
What do you think, Gabe?
Being a person that goes and shoots a fair amount, trying to get that shot with a muzzle fire is not only hard, but can also be really costly because ammo is not cheap.
No.
So maybe it's good enough to get the casing firing in the middle of the air. It's great. I mean, it's a great shot. The theme is better watch out. Yeah. Okay. So it definitely fits the theme. Yeah, and just getting that casing in midair and stuff, that'd be a hard, especially that sharp on an overcast day, that'd be a hard shot to get.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, I agree with the other points. That, you know, if you want to take it the extra 5%, which I'm always a big fan of, but for what it is, it fits the theme, it's well executed, and it's not a picture that just anybody can get.
Mm-hmm.
So it's using your resources to your advantage.
Good points. I can't see what it's aiming at. I'd kind of like to know. I mean, you can see targets on the ground there.
Yeah, I think it's just a paper target at the end of the range.
It's
or
minor.
Just potentially the end of the range.
For me,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say it's probably the far one, and the recoil is lifting the barrel up a bit.
Oh, those are actually the targets.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, then I do see that. That's cool. I got to give you a lot of credit. Your plane of focus, where the bullet is and what's in focus. I mean, you've got some fairly shallow depth of field here, and you were able to get that shell casing really sharp. So that's huge. Like Gabriel says, timing on getting shots like this is crazy. I mean, if you have a Nikon D500 or a D5 or something that can shoot 14 pictures per second, you have a better chance. But still doesn't mean you're going to even get that close to the shot. And the fact that it is an overcast day, like Gabriel suggested, you know, shutter speeds aren't going to be as fast because it's darker. So, again, we can't see the EXIF in the shot here, but for you to have that sharpness is pretty impressive. I got to say this, though. If I had captured this image, I would be extremely happy with it.
Agreed.
The only thing I would do differently is maybe process it a bit differently, change the white balance a bit, and maybe crop off the right side a little bit because those weeds and stuff are a little distracting. I'd probably crop it in almost a square. But that's just me.
Yeah,
all really good ideas.
Up the clarity on there, maybe throwing some dehaze on there, really kind of grunge it up a bit. And
yeah, that's what I'm talking
that'd be
about.
nice. Bring that sky out.
Yep, bring up the detail in the sky a little more by doing that.
Composite a zombie in there.
At least one. I mean, if there's a horde, even better, but that's a lot of work.
There you go.
Santa.
Or with like a fresh bullet wound coming out.
Oh, yeah, right up close.
And we're squirreling again.
One of the actual comments I made in my notes is this would be really cool to use as a composite, to use for other things.
Yeah.
This is a great shot that you can use and layer in different backgrounds and do all kinds of cool things with.
You can put anything you want in there. Somebody's still in a parking spot.
Michael, what are you thinking?
I said, and you know where to find me.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move along to the next one. Good shot.
And good picture.
Yes.
Aha. Boom. So, okay. Yay. All right. So, you know what? Due to subject matter that is not fit for my level of intelligence, I'm going to let somebody else start on this one because babies and me are great.
Brian
Oh,
hates
Gabriel, why don't you start? Because you have a baby.
You love
At
babies.
1 point.
So they say that raising children is like getting a tattoo. It hurts a lot while you do it, but you instantly forget the pain and want another one. So I took endless videos of Jaden screaming and crying nonstop. So whenever I was like, you know what, we should have a... And then I watched the video and I'm like, no, you know what? I'm good the way I am.
One is enough.
But it's another trick that I've been learning a lot doing the sick kids photo shoots is that the beginning of a cry usually looks like a smile. So if a kid's about to lose their mind and go on full-on temper tantrum, if you catch them right before they start crying, it looks like they're smiling, and you can look at the parents and say, okay, we got the picture. That's not so much the case in this.
It's like a cat yawning. At one point, it looks like the cat's just terrifying, and really all it's just doing is yawning.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, you know what? It's nice to get all the different shots of a child, because everybody takes the giggling picture, but I like the giggling picture, I like the smiling picture, I like the sleeping picture, and I've got some pictures, or some of my favorite pictures of, you know, Jaden when he's crying, and it's, you know, it's heartbreaking if you remember why, but they're also adorable, and it reminds you of, you know, a time where usually shortly after they're crying, they're cuddling up to you, and that's some, you know, some of the happiest times as a parent.
Well, thank you for that, because you're the only one of the group of us that knows. So. The rest of us are all like looking at this with fear. Michael,
this is not a child that's lost its mind and is inconsolable
yet. Michael, what do you think of this shot?
I have to say, I think it's really funny that after just looking at a photo with a gun, this is the one that makes me uncomfortable.
That's funny because it's true. No, I'm not that bad. I mean, I can appreciate a picture of a child. And I mean, Gabriel, you mentioned before about the sick kids photo shoots that you've been doing. First of all, before we go any further, I have to give you mad props and eat many words that I had said, because you killed it. You did such a good job. And Robert and Joseph shooting the photos for the sick kids photo shoots at the Loft Studio. And well done.
What words do you have to eat? What did you say?
Well, when I first heard about it, I was like, all right.
Bad mouthing me?
No, not at all. I just thought it was a lot.
Yes.
Like, as soon as we announced this, I was like, 60 people, 55 people want us to do free photo shoots. You're going to work your ass off for like nothing. And I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And I don't understand why you're doing this. And these are the words that I have to eat, because you killed it. You did great work. You raised a lot of money for sick kids. I think the goal is $4,000. Are we close?
Yeah, we're definitely going to hit that this weekend. And I'm hoping to hit the stretch goal of 5,000 by reaching out to all the people that have already had shoots, seeing if they want to donate more, and also opening it to their friends and family. Anybody that is looking to make a donation to sick kids anyways, encouraging them to do it through our portal.
If it's possible for you to put up your lower thirds and maybe add the link to the portal, that might be a good idea. You never know, somebody may want to donate to our fund that way as well. We're trying to raise some money for Sick Kids Hospital, and Gabriel did the initiative, free photo shoots for any family that wants it, and we were inundated with emails, and Gabriel fielded them all and replied to everybody and got the photos together and submitted, like gave them all the photos. We're getting great reviews, and just good work. Sorry, I just had to get into that. I really appreciate everything you did for that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. I'm hoping to do it again next year, and I have ideas for making it go a lot smoother than it did this year. But it was a lot of fun.
And a lot of the photos were in a similar situation where you had babies in the studio, and maybe the temperament wasn't exactly as you wanted it to be, and you'd have to fight your way through that. And I'm sure that definitely gives you a memory or two when you're looking at this shot here, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes I'll just take the picture and I'll say to the parents, you don't realize it now, but this is one of the ones that you're going to print.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that I've noticed with your shots is how bright and how clear they were, and how vivid they were, how really bright. I mean, you isolated the background with a white background and you popped it full of light. This is my comment for this photo, and please don't get me wrong. Cute baby pictures I'm fine with. I just like to joke. But realistically, what I would really want in this shot is some fill flash. A little bit of light up in the front of the baby just to give you that detail. And then you'd see all the detail that you're trying to tell your audience by showing this photo in the first place. What I usually do with my flash, if I'm walking around at a party or something, is dial it down to 8th power or 16th power or something like that. The pop-up flash, you can do this. Just don't have it full blast, or else you're going to totally blast out the photo. But if you can cut that power back, 8 power, 16 power, or even 30-second power, the background color of the trees and all the bokeh or the lights and stuff like that will still come through, but you'll have a little bit of that catch light on the baby so that you get that sharpness that you're looking for, look a little more natural. So that's my opinion on this shot. Did we get everybody? Phil, did you give anything?
No, I don't really have anything really to throw in.
All right, well then let's move along. Thank you so much for submitting the shot, and let's see what we have next.
This one, Jerry's.
Oh. All right, well, I'll start on this one because I love it. I think it's really funny. And it's weird because points were made to me after I had my initial interpretation of the shot that I kind of like agree with. But my only thought on this for improvement originally was to straighten the top bar. You know, use lens correction or something just to get that straight bar across the top. It would add some strength to the photo. But the concept is great. Right up my alley, that whole psycho theme. The knife in the I'd like to know who it is that's in there, actually. Is that you, Jerry, in the shower? It's kind of cool. But you're telling the story. I like how the knuckles are touching the plastic, so you can kind of see there's like he's about to move it across or get to somebody. I kind of like that the shower curtain had been pulled down and exposed the plastic. It's like somebody had seen this and just kind of like startled and torn that shower curtain away from the plastic. It could have been anything. But Michael, you had a different thought on this shot.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jaded with this shot only because it was clearly inspired. It's the psycho theme. We have the machete behind the shower curtain. And I have to say I'm being extra critical of it only because, to some extent, I've seen it before. But I have to say, I like that you're making use of the storytelling. I like that you actually have a flash coming in behind. It looks like you've got a light source behind the subject and you're creating that silhouette. But what really strikes me is the bottom corner of all the color consistency that you've got in the shot with the whites and reds. You've got bright green bottles in the corner, and we talk about contrast, especially in one of our latest shows, with color contrast as well. And having the green up against the red and the white is just so vibrant and really, really pulls the eye down into that corner. So I appreciate all of the storytelling. I love the storytelling that you're doing. I love a lot of the execution that you've done, but try to watch for anything that could be distracting, especially around the corners and the edges of the frame. Really has way more influence over the photo than we'd expect it to while we're actually in the middle of shooting. So future reference, try to get rid of any props or any extra details that might take away from the subject.
Good advice. This is actually Jerry's daughter. And on the Christine's photo, she says, all I did was hide behind the camera and he reacts this way. Kid is obsessed with her. So every kid reacts that way when they see me. You're so tall, you're scary. So no, Michelle says she has a question. Everyone who looks at this, do you make that sound effect like ring, ring, ring sound in your head? I'm like, absolutely, I make that sound. Mark Flinders agrees. Phil, what do you think?
I like this picture. I think the bar is supposed to be bent. I had a shower curtain like that. The downfall to that shower curtain was that all of the, not his, but the one I had, all of the screws that held into the wall were stripped. So trying to paint the bathroom was not a fun time. But other than that, like I like this picture. It does have that very psycho vibe to it. As much as I don't like the green bottles there, I'm actually okay with them because if we are trying to get that reveal that I moved the shower curtain and surprise, you would have a lived-in bathroom. So I'm kind of on the fence with those. They are kind of bright, but I am on the fence with them.
What do you think, Gabriel?
I like it. I have to agree with it kind of depends what you're going for, right? Like, the shower curtain half pulled down sort of bugs me, but if you want it, like, I would rather see it half pulled back, like from the bottom, and just see like the pants of the person behind, than half torn down. It's whether it's telling, like whether it's supposed to be I'm grasping for a word here, editorial like, or story like, or posed, right? So I'm kind of confused as to, on one hand, it could look like something that was caught in the moment, and on the other hand, it could look like a scene that was set up without a lot of attention to detail, right? So it needs, in either way, if it's telling a story like a moment caught in time, a moment that's happening that was caught in time, it needs one extra element to tell that story. And if it's to be artistic, if it's a still image that's supposed to tell a story, then it needs, the rest of the curtain taken away, and the green bottles taken away, and maybe zoomed in a little bit more, because the color, the reflection, it's a cross between Psycho and Freddy, because Freddy's always wearing that red shirt. It's a great knife. I love the variation in the distance, where the head is completely blurry, but the knife is really close, so you can get a lot more detail off that. And the fingers are just touching the curtain, so you can see that. The light behind it is amazing. There's so much in this picture that's working. It's just falling a little bit short, and I think that it wouldn't take much to turn it from a good image to a great one.
Christine says maybe a rubber ducky. Could be creepy, although the song in my head would then be from Three Men and a Baby. So that might be the thing.
Oh, right.
Jerry said the bottles were an oversight, and yes, the bar is bent by design. So.
Yeah. And it reminds me of what, because I'm a terrible husband and not that great a person. In our old apartment, we had a bathroom. When you walk in, you could see right onto the far wall of the shower. And I took Jaden. He had these little foam letters that stick to the wall. And so when we were in the bathtub, we'd practice spelling words and stuff. And I took them and I wrote on the wall, "I'm behind you." And so Trish walked into the bathroom, flipped on the light, went, "Ah! Gabriel!"
I figure she'd be immune to that kind of stuff by now.
I don't do it very often, so when I do, it's very impactful.
Nice. Well, really cool shot. We really appreciate the effort that you put into this, Jerry. And you know what? Gabriel says it best. If these are our opinions, right? And if you agree with our opinions, you are correct. If you don't agree with our opinions, you are also correct. So it's all good. Very fun shot. All right, let's move along to the next shot here. Rosemary. Okay, now this is me right here. This is like, I'm the little kid, and my sister Josie is the older one. And that fist in the eye, yes, I've had it. Claws to the arms, you name it. The older sisters are just so mean sometimes. But obviously, like, the story is kind of here, right? The older sister, cold look in her eye. You got some red eye there. It almost make her look a little more evil. With the little boy has no clue that he's just getting punched in the eye. But the focus is just a bit in the back. And it's the contrast of the tree drew the focus away from the two kids. So I hate to use the word impactful, but it would be more impactful if the focus was actually on the kids in the shot. A tip for that could possibly be maybe it was on continuous focus or servo, and somehow a focus point was put to the edge and it just happened to skip back. But maybe use that center point on that. Use single point focus, one shot, and you'll have a little bit more success getting the focus right there on the kids. Gabe, what do you think of this shot?
Again, yeah, the focus totally pulls me out of it. Like, I get that, if it's a snapshot that you get the picture that you can get, and it's better to have, say, a blurry photo than no photo at all. But if this was, what I would say is, if you're submitting this, if we can look at the EXIF data, because for the photo challenges, it's supposed to be a photo taken within that time, right?
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, okay. So it was. But what I would say is, you know what? That was adorable. That was really funny. Can you just reenact that one more time while I get, the photo down?
Actually, this was September 6th.
Okay, because this information doesn't make sense.
Or was it June 9th? Either one. It's a little bit beyond this current photo challenge.
Oh, okay.
But that's actually, I would say it's actually June 9th because of the short sleeves. But hard to say. But either way, it is not within our proper time. So good observation.
Yeah, I was just thinking with the foliage in the background, that's not very indicative of fall or the beginning of winter. But
well, the weather we're having, who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Or it could have been taken down south. But no, the EXIF.
True.
The EXIF is there. So let's move on to the next one.
Sounds good. Gonna get that pulled up here for you.
Do it.
And it's Mark Flinders.
Marks. Michael, why don't you start on this one?
I really liked this one because it clearly has that TV feel. Like, it feels like we're looking from the perspective over the TV, and that's what they're being lit by. So the setting and the lighting is completely appropriate for the story being told. And I like that you sort of took both approaches to it, that Better Watch Out could be a threat or it could be Christmas themed, and you went with both, which I think was a lot of fun. There's one thing really stands out to me, is the fact that this shot is very underexposed. It's very dark, and it does really show that there's the TV lighting. It shows that it's a dark, dimly lit room. But one thing I'd want to say is there are ways that you can take the same photo where it's brighter and properly exposed, and you can see some more of that information that we're losing. Like, we have no separation of the dark hair versus the shadows behind them for the people that are sitting on the couch. There are ways that you can have that properly exposed and still show that it's a dark setting. So that's really the only thing. Otherwise, it's just such a fun story. And I like that you took both approaches to it. So I'm a big fan of this shot.
What do you think, Phil?
I like the blue tone. It kind of makes me feel like this isn't a new TV. They're watching a TV from like the 90s that's, like 300 pounds and a cathode ray tube. I like the shadow on the wall. I like the harsh lighting. I like a lot. I agree with a lot of what Michael has to say. And in the words of Gabriel and the other gentleman in the picture, KCCO. But
okay.
Yes. Oh yeah, nice. Yes.
Oh, you've got it on right now too.
Catch that.
Well, good timing.
Nice. Job on.
For those of you who don't know, it's a cooking website.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, they teach you how to make brownies.
Ooh. No idea what you're talking about. It's cool. I always like Mark's humor and the story he gives us, and it's really, Mark always gives us a story, and in this one, it's clearly he wants popcorn.
Yes.
He's staring right at it. He's very aggressively wanting that popcorn. So, yeah.
I think that's what it's about. It's not actually like a vengeful picture. He's like, I want the popcorn because I have my machete for the butter to put more on it and make it yummy. As a side note, I think their eyes follow you around the room.
Yes. Yeah, they do. Now, if I'm going to get into the whole, composition and rules and this and that, I kind of the shirt that the Santa is wearing, I find to be distracting. I know this is a minor thing, but I want to see, and I know this is his friend Jay and Jay's wife. I want to see their faces and the beard very clearly, and that shirt is just kind of blending them all together. There's no.
Well, it's white print, so it's drawing your eye to it.
Exactly. And I think if it was just a plain black shirt, it would have brought more impact to the moment, and it made Santa a little bit more discreet in the background, except for the big glowing beard. I don't know. Might have
or had the plaid shirt buttoned up.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Had the plaid shirt.
Oh yes, I'm looking at it on my upper screen. I couldn't see the details, but yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Gabe, have you got anything else to add?
I like how the characters kind of break the fourth wall, and well, she kind of looks like she's watching TV. He's kind of giving this look like he knows what's going on, and he's a little freaked. I like it. I get what Michael was saying about there is a way to do it to get a little bit brighter, but still get that tone and that casting in there. The harsh shadows, like on the popcorn and stuff. I love the bucket of popcorn, actually. I need that for my house because my wife's a popcorn addict. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, there would be a way to take this photo up a bit, but not a lot. I think it's well done, and yeah, it's very playful and it's fun.
Lots of really good elements in this shot. Lots of them. All right, so let's check out the next shot, see what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, I think the next one might actually be yours.
Oh, is that it? Are we done?
No, we got one more, so we're gonna pop this up and have the friendly dog.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count.
No, I just thought I'd share the friendly dog picture.
Oh, okay.
And then this one.
Yeah, that wolf one. Gabriel, you were on that session.
Was I there for that one?
Were you not? With Winter? The Winter Muskoka Wildlife Center when the wolf almost bit off.
That was like a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, that was forever ago. I don't even know when that was. That was 2012, July. No, it was just better watch out. The wolf might eat you.
Yeah, and then somebody like shook their fur hat.
Yes.
And the wolf was like, "Oh, dinner."
That was such a fun session. Anyway, let's look at Michelle's photo here. Phil, why don't you start on this one?
Well, I don't know too much about the wrestling side of things, but I think I like the ironic part of this, where the person who's doing the watching doesn't actually see anything. I find that funny. But yeah, I think the picture's small. So my really only big negative is the picture's kind of small.
And it doesn't have the rest of the EXIF data.
So I think it might have been exported for web and devices at a very, very tiny resolution and/or size.
Yeah, it's a little bit little.
But that being said, I think it's kind of cool. Normally I wouldn't like the red thing here, the row, but it kind of just brings you into the picture. The downfall to this, or the thing I don't really like, is this guy kind of feels like he shouldn't be there. The contrast between him and the background, it kind of seems like he's just like bloop put in there, but he wasn't.
Very flat, kind of one-dimensional, even though it's in a photo.
Yeah, I really get that feel too, that you can see the shading and the depth in the body of the wrestler laying down. There's no depth in the mask, and it's really confusing to look at, because no matter what size, like I'm trying to zoom in and look at this, and it feels like one shade across almost.
It looks like it has been tone mapped, not tone mapped, but like the whole thing.
Clarity, and
I'm trying to stay a little bit quiet on it, because obviously this is my thing, right? This is Barry wrestling. This is Michelle was shooting it with me this time, and it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of crazy things that happened. what ended up happening, and knowing the story and knowing the people, I kind of have a different view on it than what you guys have said. So that's why I wanted you to go first. This is patient 705 on the left, and D-Man, who's been completely decimated. And 705 basically knocked him out completely, dragged him out of the ring, threw him over his shoulder, and took him. Just took him. Don't know where they are. They're probably still having coffee or something right now. I don't know. But it was a big moment, and it was a lot of fun. But I hear your points on the edit. This is wrestling, guys. It's family entertainment. It's like
soap opera for men.
You owe me a beer. Just saying that. Soap opera for men, exactly. But my wife's the fan, which is very strange. Anyway,
soap opera for elves.
Elves and men and elves, angry elves. So it was neat, and I'm really excited to see Michelle sharing the photos up from it, and I think it's really cool. She made a comment how here lies the D-Man, yet another victim of patient 705. Patient 705 has been racking up quite the kill list of late, including Bryan Weiss's camera Shirley. Yeah. I got too close to patient 705 in a little interaction, and he grabbed Shirley, my D3100, and it is now in pieces in my closet. So yeah, it was all fun and games. So anything else to add, Michael, Gabriel, anybody?
Not really more to add. Just I really want to ask Michelle if anything was done differently around the mask, because it's still I'm usually good at decoding an edit, decoding a photo, and figuring out what was done, and I just can't decide what happened to this one, of why it has that sort of one-dimensional feeling.
Well, we'll see if Michelle says anything about that. You asked her in the chat too. And Mark actually said, fair point on the shirt. We discussed it and shows the skull as part of the image. The plaid won't button up. It's a little small. So there you go. We have our answers. That's why I love this live show. People can give us the answers that we're craving, we're needing. So that's it. That's it for the photo challenge, guys. There's been all the photos for the week. Thank you, Phil, for sharing all of those, and keep that up because we have to announce
first. Is a quick refresh just in case. Nope. Okay. Yep.
Oh yeah, just to make sure no one submitted.
Yeah, so let's pop this out of there, and I'll come back. No, actually, I'm not going to come back. I'm going to stay where I am because we need to announce the winners, as you're right.
So did you guys see the last post I made in our comment window here? Are we cool with that? Or
yes.
Gabriel?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to go with what I have or the second option?
I'm going to vote what you have, the first option.
I'm going with a shrimp platter.
Okay, shrimp platter it is. Cool. So
I don't know what the options are, so I'm learning as you're learning. Hooray for Zoidberg!
All right, so we're going to announce, starting with our honorable mention today. Honorable mention will be, hang on a second. Can't have an honorable mention without sound effects. So I have to.
So.
I don't have the air horn pulled up, so.
There we go. It is Taylor is going to get the third place. Well done. And this is honorable mention, not third place. So Taylor gets 1 point for her awesomely timed shot. Well done. A very cool photo. A couple little points. Thank you, Mr. Soundman. Oh, I missed that.
You've unleashed the Kraken.
It's great photo, and just the fact that you're submitting again, and you've gotten married, and now you're back into the flow. Thank you so much for being a part of it. So that's really cool. Now, third place this week, we're going to give to. This one goes to Jerry. Well done, Jerry. Yay. The scary truth has come out. Jerry has his third place with 2 points for this current photo challenge. Well done, sir. Second place this week is going to go to. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me.
All the sound effects.
This one goes to Mark for his spooky Santa with awesome stuff. Good job, Mark. You're walking with 4 points from today's challenge. And for first place this week, It goes to Lori Cluche for You Better Watch Out, Santa's Coming. Everybody gets a sound effect for this one. That's awesome. Good job, Lori. Good job to everybody who shared photos for our photo challenge. Phil's loving it.
Yeah, I blame the Rooster Teeth podcast. Or Off Topic. I don't remember which one, but
it's funny because there's actually a wrestler that uses that same sound.
yeah.
EJZ, he comes out and he's, bow, bow, but he does it with his voice. It's kind of stupid. Anyway, scroll in again. So that was fun. It's good having you back on the show, Gabriel.
I'm perfectly aware why I won't be invited back again.
Oh, please. Always invited back. And again, I just want to thank you very much for the work you're doing for the sick kids. Oh my God, I just totally blanked out. The sick kids thing for the Loft Studio. There's been so many amazing comments. I saw Judy Brunton shared a photo. Judy is a very well-known member of the Newmarket community, and I guess she brought her kids in, and you guys did all the shots, and awesome work, just awesome work. So. Yeah,
you know what? It's been a lot of fun. It's been amazing meeting so many different families, and it's the kind of thing when I originally came up with the idea, I knew, you know, you have to look at the reality of things before you do it. You have to say, you know, it's not always going to be fun. There's going to be times where you're frustrated or tired or don't feel like doing it. But in all honesty, well, I know a bunch of ways that I can make it go a lot smoother next year. It's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed doing it and meeting everybody and doing the shoots and editing them and posting them and you know, seeing all the donations roll in, and pretty soon we're going to start getting greedy, pushing for more donations because we really want to meet our stretch goal. But you know, the generosity of everybody in the community has been amazing, and you know, I said to myself when I first came up with this idea, like, you know, there's probably going to be a few people I'm going to have to remind that it's not a free photo shoot. We are expecting a donation, but it's really I haven't run into anybody that wasn't excited about donating to sick kids.
Well, seeing all the emails come in, it's all like, I'm very happy that you're doing this for sick kids, and you know, I'd like to register for the charity for sick kids, the photo shoot for sick kids. It's like everybody really respects the charity, and it's a great cause. I've done some work with sick kids in the past over the holidays. My wife Shelly and I went and sang Christmas carols, and it's just it's an amazing place, and I just love it. So good job, well done. All right,
and you know, big, huge props to Joe and Robert, who volunteered their Sundays. I volunteered my Saturdays, which filled up in like 4 hours, but they volunteered their Sundays, and I've been booking them, you know, long Sundays because there's two of them, and they can. But I mean, without them, our donations would have been in the, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 range, and they're the ones that have really been able to get it up into the $4,000 and hopefully the $5,000 range. So I mean, it's really due to them that we've been able to make it as successful as it has been.
Are there any spots still open if anybody's interested?
No, this weekend is the last weekend that we're shooting. I'm doing a little bit on the 17th just for makeups. People that some of the people that have booked photo shoots, their kids are actually sick kids patients, so they've had emergency surgeries or unexpected illness. So I booked the 17th to make up specifically for those people. But in all honesty, if I start shooting, you know, the 17th is about a week before, or one or 2 weeks before Christmas. If I keep going longer than that, my wife no longer is okay with it.
Yes. There comes a point where it's less about charity and more about just going crazy and doing too much.
Yeah. It's already, you know, I have no Saturdays leading all the way up to Christmas, which has been challenging enough. It's for a great cause, so everybody's, you know, cool with it. But if I push it any further than that, then it starts getting awkward in the household. So,
well, I can tell you, I would definitely have liked to have done more to help out, but it is my busy season, and you know, work in retail and such. I don't have Saturdays and Sundays off, and I can't even request them. So, sorry I couldn't do more, and I just mad respect for the work you've done on this, man.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. So it's been nice having the loft as a playground to do it. You know, it's such a great space, and just having all the equipment there and firing up, and when you're done, just, you know, unplugging the lights and walking away. It's been fantastic.
Very cool. All right. Well, we do have a photo challenge that we're issuing for this coming 3 weeks. This today was the second photo challenge of this quarter. We have 2 more still to go. The final reveal, the fourth quarter, the final year end is actually going to be on the 18th of January. So that is still 2 reviews away. The current photo challenge, the next, I should say, is going to be kind of along the theme of what we've talked quite a bit about today, and that's stories. So the photo challenge right now is story time. So really anxious to see what everybody comes up with for story time. There's so many different ways to interpret this. Really anxious to see what you guys do. Before we say goodnight, I'm just going to go back to the chats here. Michelle says, I should likely go back in and affect the exposure in that area, so bring out some more details. So she's going to work on your comments there, Michael, on the face. Christine says, great job, everybody. Michelle says, excellent choices. Great job. Great work on the photos. I agree. Ivan says, appreciate the comments, guys. Trying to improve as I go, and you guys are a big help. That's excellent to hear. Glad we are. Michelle says, thanks, Michael. She will give that a shot. So thank you for whoever watched. Thank you for everybody on the panel. Phil, I know you're tired, dude. Thank you so much for sticking it out and being on the show. We ran a bit late. The reviews tend to do that.
Always, but that's okay. We got a lot to talk about.
That's true. Michael, thank you as well. Great insight, and I really appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 200.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. It's pretty cool. I mean, when we started, did we really think we would do 200 episodes?
I did not. I was happy if we got to 10.
And then like every 10 that we went beyond, it was like, holy cow, we hit 20. Holy cow, we hit 50. Holy cow, like this is 100 episodes. So it'll be interesting to see how far we go. And again, just one last thank you so much to our newest sponsor, Atmosphere Aerosol, for hooking us up and getting us some cool prizes. I can't wait to see what we do at the studio with this. I really can't wait to see that. And of course, Michael and Phil, I know you guys are going to rock with some of this stuff. And
I got some ideas.
Right. I can't wait.
I think story time might go together with Atmosphere Aerosol.
Ooh.
It absolutely could, right?
Yeah. We should schedule something soon, hopefully.
I think so.
I'm in. All right, guys. So that's it for us this week. I just want to quickly go back to the notes and see if I've forgotten anything. Yes, I have. The quote of the day. We're going to do...
On drum.
There's too many drum sounds.
There is too many drums. Never no cowbell.
No, we'll never. Well, we don't have any cowbell. Is there a cowbell sound effect?
No.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I had 2 quotes here. I'm going to go with the first one. And the quote is from Alfred Stieglitz, who says, in photography, there is a reality so subtle that it becomes more real than reality. And I think that goes along with our story challenge, our big challenge right now, again, which is story time. And that is, in photography, there's reality so subtle that it becomes more real than reality. And I think that's what we have to look for. We have to look for the little bit of a story that brings a different sense of reality to our photos. What are you highlighting there, Phil?
I'm not highlighting that.
Oh,
Michael.
I'm messing around.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, we're good?
Although that kind of like, I'm sure, it's a nice and important quote, but it also kind of sounds like a Jaden Smith quote. Like, if our eyes aren't real, how can trees be real?
I'm obviously missing something here, but
it's like it's more real than reality, man.
So is Will Smith's son like a permanent stoner? Wow.
If our fingers finger, what are our toes? Sorry. An old Simpsons joke.
Okay, on that note, we're going to say goodnight, everybody. I hope you all had a great time watching us this week, and we had a great time doing it. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Gabriel, for being back on the show this week. And we'll see everybody next time. Take care.
Sounds good. Bye.
Cannon
froze
Rock.
Michael. Oh, he's not frozen anymore. That's good.
Rocks. I'm still letting the show go. I have plenty of time. I can go Nikon rocks. I can go Pentax rocks.
Pentax.
Yeah,
You can find one.
Hang up.
And we're off there in Japan.